I said yesterday on this program that the Obama regime told Arizona to drop dead. Last night on Fox News and the Greta Van Susteren show, the governor of Arizona, Jan Brewer, we admire Jan Brewer here, went on Fox News and she said the Obama administration told Arizona to drop dead. And that is exactly what's... This is unbelievable. I don't know how this guy is going to get over 25% of the vote in November. I don't believe what is happening in this country. I literally can't believe it, folks. I am sitting here, my mouth agape, wide open, in stunned disbelief. Well, that's not accurate because I know these people. I shouldn't be surprised. But nevertheless, that I am. And I'm scared. I am scared what these people are doing to this country. I am scared. This is not for an administration after winning to react the way this one did and basically tell Arizona, as far as we're concerned, you don't even exist. Hi, folks. Rush Limbaugh, the real mainstream media here, the EIB network. Our telephone number, you want to be on the program, 800-282-2882. The email address, lrushbaugh@eibnet.com. As we told you yesterday on this program, the regime said it is suspending existing agreements with Arizona police over enforcement of federal immigration laws, and furthermore said it has issued a directive telling federal authorities to decline many of the calls from Arizona reporting illegal immigrants that the Homeland Security may get from Arizona cops. Obama official speaking on condition they not be named. Why? Why, if you're so proud of this, why not attach your name to it, regime? Administration officials speaking on condition they not be named told reporters they expect to see an increase in the number of calls they get from Arizona police, but that will not change Obama's decision to limit whom the government actually tries to detain and deport. All of this means that police statewide can immediately begin calling to check immigration status, but federal authorities are likely to tell them to go to hell. Arizona cops can call, and the administration is going to tell them. Furthermore, that's not all that's associated with this. To intimidate Arizona law, what happened here? All that happened here is there are federal immigration laws on the books the federal government's not enforcing because the Democrat Party losing traditional American voters in droves, left and right, needs as many foreign citizens and illegal immigrants to come into this country as possible to be converted into voters, into recipients of whatever federal largesse Obama wants to try to pass out to purchase their votes. He has written off the state of Texas. He's written off white working families. He's now written off the state of Arizona. Arizona was a state that was, and I don't even understand why, but it was a state that was in play, according to all the experts and all the presidential polling data. Well, not any longer. Arizona doesn't care. To intimidate Arizona law enforcement officials, Obama further set up a hotline to complain when illegals are apprehended. Get this. The Justice Department, Eric Holder of Fast and Furious fame, a program which resulted in the deaths of over 200 Mexicans. The Justice Department announced it set up a telephone hotline and an email address for the public to report potential civil rights concerns related to the implementation of the Arizona SB 1070 provision requiring immigration status verification during certain... This is the stop and check. If anybody sees something that they think is not right, they can call and tattle. It's a tattletale line. It's an invitation to liberal troublemakers to shut this part of the law down. What we have here, We have federal laws on immigration. The federal government was not enforcing them. Obama not interested in securing the border. What border? Probably thinks there shouldn't even be a border. Who do we think we are? United States of America? What border? Well, this is resulting in a state of chaos in the state of Arizona, economically, politically, criminally. And so the responsible people, the adults in Arizona, said, we are going to enforce the law ourselves. So they wrote law which mirrors federal law, did not go one step further. It mirrors federal law. The Supreme Court said you can't do that. This is a federal government job, and you can't do it. And Antonin Scalia, in his dissent, said, what? It boggles the mind. A sovereign state writes laws that reflect and mirror federal laws which are not being enforced. The people not enforcing the law sue the state of Arizona for trying to enforce what is essentially federal law, and they win. I know it doesn't matter, and I know it's probably irrelevant, but it's just me and the way I think. I wonder if there's any shame on the part of the Supreme Court that voted this case when they see what Obama did yesterday. I know that's naive as it can be. I know that it's silly to even think that such a thing is possible, particularly among the four libs on the court. But here they are thinking they are upholding federal law, protecting federal government, to heck with federalism. And then after their ruling comes out, then Obama decides that he's just not going to enforce the law now that Arizona's told it can't. Now there is no immigration law in Arizona. And any tattletale liberals who spot the cops checking people now have a hotline. They can call and rat out Arizona law enforcement officials to Barack Obama in the United States of America. The Justice Department announced that it has set up a telephone hotline and email address for the public, which means ticked off, sniveling little liberals, to report potential civil rights concerns related to the implementation of the Arizona SB 1070 provision, the stop and check law. The hotline number's X, the email address is X. So, Arizona, you got that? When your police and your sheriff departments try to do their jobs, left-wing lawyers stand ready to bury you in bogus lawsuits. At the request and the behest of Barack Obama. This hotline, this email address is criminalizing the enforcement of the law. There is a presumption now that any law enforcement official doing his job on the provision the Supreme Court upheld, stop and check, is now behaving in a criminal way and will be ratted out or tattletaled on by Arizona citizens. For the life of me, I don't know what's in it for you Arizona citizens, but I could no more be a liberal. If somebody paid me Warren Buffett money, I couldn't do it. My conscience wouldn't allow me to survive a week. So when your cops and sheriff departments in Arizona try to do their jobs, left-wing lawyers stand ready to bury you with bogus lawsuits. The federal government does not have your back. If you are a law enforcement officer in Arizona, you're a target. Not potential criminals, not people who violate the law. Law enforcement is now the target. The bullseye painted on their backs by Barack Obama. What this is all about is the presumption that law enforcement does nothing but profile. And they're going to profile. And who gets to decide whether it's profiling or not? A former ACLU lawyer, former La Raza lawyer at the Department of Justice? Keep wondering, what would Wyatt Earp do? Criminals can now snitch out law enforcement, folks. Barack Obama has sided with people who are on the other side of the law. And Speaker Boehner, are you glad to see that President Obama did not spike the ball after the Supreme Court decision yesterday? You want to talk about spiking the football. We are looking at spiking the football, and we're looking at this with anger and revenge. There is so much pent-up rage and anger in this administration, and they can't wait to exhibit it as often as possible. Arizona favors, the state of Arizona, the people of Arizona favor the stop and check law by 2-1. 2-1. So Obama has written off Arizona. It's another, doesn't care as far as his reelection is concerned. Now, there's no nuance here. The President of the United States does not want immigration laws enforced. It's just that simple, folks. He does not want immigration laws enforced. The liberals in this country, the Democrat Party, need a perpetual underclass. And I guess they're not content with the perpetual underclass that they have created in this country with the economic disruption that they have authored. They want even more. Here's the governor. Let's go to audio soundbite number 3. Last night on Greta. Question. Governor Brewer, no sooner had you heard the news that there was a ruling and you at least had won one provision, suddenly you learn the news that the agreement has been cut off. What are your thoughts?
Well, I was shocked. I was outraged. It was just unbelievable that they would just thwart the law, thwart the opinion of the Supreme Court. I would think that the American people would think long and deep about what the federal government is doing and why aren't they abiding by the rule of law. It's just unconscionable. What they've said to Arizona is drop dead, Arizona. Drop dead and go away. We're going to ignore you.
She's exactly right. Drop dead. Federal government is not abiding by the rule of law. Federal government, Barack Obama, ignoring the law as he sees fit, enforcing it as he sees fit, violating it as he sees fit. So Greta said, well, look, not long after 287G, the stop and check, they were cut off. The department, then they set up a telephone hotline and intake email for the public to report potential civil rights concerns related to the implementation of stop and check. So apparently the Department of Justice is worried that you're going to do something, Governor.
For the federal government and the Department of Justice to go out in this manner and to encourage, I would say, bait people to call up and report people, that is just unbelievable. Is this not America? Is this not the United States? Do I not, as governor, have the right to protect the people of Arizona? It's just incomprehensible to think that this is all taking place today. And it ticks me off. I think that it should tick the people of America off.
Earlier in the day, she thought she'd won. Earlier in the day, when the Supreme Court upheld stop and check, which was the primary reason they were all in court in the first place, the other three provisions were already, they were just mirrors of existing federal law. Scalia still can't believe what happened. But provision 4 here, earlier in the day when the court upheld stop and check, she thought she had a big win until the regime spoke up and said, you know what? Not only are we not going to enforce it, when you guys call us for help, we're not going to answer the phone. And furthermore, we're going to set up a tattletale hotline so that if anybody reports your cops to us trying to enforce this, your cops are going to get in trouble. And Governor Brewer, thinking she had a victory, goes on Greta last night wondering if she still lives in the United States of America.